How has the identity of being British been influenced by the influx of so many immigrants?
First of all, I think of myself as British, but I'm quite unusual now. Because I think I'd call myself Scottish. I mean, if I was younger, I think I would grow up with the idea of myself being Scottish. I'm Scottish and British. I mean, I don't really mind what people call me. I don't even mind if they call me English, actually, but that would make me very rare now. Missed calls if we're English and I was Scottish. I wouldn't mind it.
People are, I mean, that's something that can cause some awkwardness, right?
Yeah. But I don't mean it. So I'm not giving myself as a typical example of anything here, really, because I think I'm not. But so you've got tensions within Britain as to which over identity and a sense of Scottish, English, Welsh, Northern Irish, and the four constituent bits that came. So there's a kind of splitting apart there. So the British has become a much more fragile thing as a description, as a self-description. On the other hand, you have large numbers of people who've come into the country from all parts of the world, including the subcontinent, for whom the word British actually is an easier way, for some reason which I can't really explain. It's easier to think of yourself as Black and British or Indian and British than Indian and English or Black and English.
Yeah, I mean, you hear the word British Asian.
Yes.
Yeah.
But English Asian doesn't sound right.
No.
And the fact that one of the reasons I like the word British is that it's such a kind of tired, exhausted, but still very capacious definition that it could include lots of things. And one of the things it does not include is what might be called blood and soil nationalism, which words like Scottish and English tend to.
Right.
They tend to say, I'm from this soil.
Yeah.
My ancestors were from this soil. Now, the Scottish National Party, which is an important bit of British life now, will always deny that that's what they are. And actually, the readers aren't soil nationalists, but you have a lot of support that tends to suggest that people say things like, I'm of pure Scottish blood, and you think, well, you could never say I'm of pure English blood now. It would just be not politically correct to say that. But people can still say it about Wales. It's complicated, but I think if you came to Britain now, came to England from Scotland and Wales, Northern Ireland, I think you'd want to identify with this rather kind of almost old-fashioned idea of Britain, because it somehow allows you into it in a way that narrower ideas like being English or Scottish or Welsh don't.
Right. Well, would you say that, if we define being a global Calcuttan as, being influenced by, to some extent, the Calcutta of the mind and memories, is there a bit of the global Calcuttan in you, would you say, coming back at least?
Yes, no. One of the great things about Calcutta is how much it can tell you about where you come from. I think in Charlotta, Ray's film Charlotta, there's a minute when they're singing Bank Simon, or perhaps it's Eubanks and Grace. Anyway, one Scottish tune with Bengali words is somewhere in that film, I think. And the more you kind of know about the kind of making of the Calcuttan identity in the 19th century, with song, with poetry, with novelising, the Walter Scott of Bengal, Bankim Chandra Chatterjee, the more you realise that you are kind of part of it, really. It's a nice feeling. I enjoy the feeling that I might in some way share things with people who are ostensibly so unlike me, both in skin colour and in history. I think that's a kind of almost a moving thing. I don't want to sentimentalise it too much, but it's an almost moving thing. It's quite to realise a kind of connection here, that you can have conversations about this connection.
Well,
so I think it is. I think being global Calcuttan quite appeals to me.
Well, and it appeals to us as well. Thank you very much for being with us here, and you can catch Ian's column at the Guardian. It's a weekly column. I encourage you to read it, and to read Grantha. as well. Ian edited the Granta for 12 years, which I didn't mention at the beginning. And I think you're involved also.
We're doing a special Indian edition of Granta again, which
Okay.
I'm editing. Well, not edited around anymore, which we just coming out next year.
Okay. Do you want to say just a little something about your book before we...
Well, I'd be delighted to say a little
Yes,
about my book since
because-
you've asked me to. I would be delighted. I published, well, Penguin India published a book last year called, written by me, called Mofussil Junction, which is really a collection of my pieces about India between 1977 and 2012. And a lot of them are set in Bengal and Bihar.
Okay.
And it's had very generous reviews.
Well, we look forward to reading it. Thank you very much.
No, thank you, pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Govindam Adi Purusham Brahma